And we are the Non-Prophets. I'm Denis Loubet, along with Jamie Boone, Kevin Stein, and special guest Cristina Rad. We're coming to you live from the Free Thought Library in Austin, Texas on the 30th of April, 2019. This show is sponsored by the Atheist Community of Austin, a non-profit educational organization for the promotion of positive atheism and the separation of church and state. If you want to learn more about the ACA, you can call their voicemail at 512-220-6561 or visit their website at www.atheist-community.org. The Non-Prophets broadcast live every first and third Wednesday of each month from 7:30 to 9 Central Time. You can join the Non-Prophets chat room by following the directions at www.nonprofitsradio.com. So sit back and enjoy the show.
Boom. And for those of you who are expecting Dennis to have a flashier intro, it's not his fault. We told him that he could not spoil either Endgame or Game of Thrones.
Yeah, neither of which I've seen yet.
Yeah,
That's
I was going
right.
to say.
I have.
So the best... Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, people die.
Yes.
La la la.
Okay.
Oh, no!
I was going to say.
You ruined it.
Yeah.
So the best thing I can do is take a completely vanilla intro and say it in a snide voice. So there you
I was
go.
going to say, yeah. And also, I just realized if you don't like the way this interview goes, you can just throw out a spoiler in the middle, and then we won't be able to play it.
And
That's a
boy,
very
we'll
good
get
plan.
mail.
I was gonna say for like a year at least.
Yeah.
How long do spoilers last? I know that if you had that spoiled.
In my mind, they last forever.
I respect that entirely.
Yes.
I'm gonna see if that can be the official position of the ACA.
I think you respect that 80%.
Hey,
Well,
No one can
skeptical
talk about
doubt.
popular movies for a year.
I mean, at least I still get pissed when people spoil the Star Wars Episode 5 a little bit, and they're just like, "Oh, it doesn't matter." I'm like, "There's an entire generation of." Never mind.
I get all of those mixed up. I can't even remember which one 5 is. Because they're all out of order. So
I feel like you're just tempting me to say what the spoiler is, so that you know.
Am I? Are
You know.
sure?
Yeah, it's the.
Kids these days may not have seen Psycho, and you can still spoil it.
Yeah, I'm still not sure who the murderer in Psycho is. So.
He's the psychopath.
Well, now it's ruined. So one less movie I have to watch.
You're welcome.
It's in black and white. No one cares.
So here, thank you for joining us because this has been sort of impromptu. You were only in Austin because you were Faithless Forum before, and we dragged you in front of a camera you weren't expecting. So
By my hair.
yeah, which it wasn't me. It's someone else.
Totally was you.
No. My word versus yours. Okay.
I don't know if that's going to work out too well for me.
No, it's going to be terrible.
Yeah.
Everything's on fire now, forever. But
I believe her over you.
we desperately wanted to get you on the air because you are Cristina Rad, old school for... When did you first start? When was your first YouTube?
About 10 years ago, I want to say. But
Wow.
then again, I don't do math. So it might have been, 8.
Hey, I've heard 10 thrown around a bit.
So how do you do YouTube from the womb? I don't understand.
No, it's...
Oh, you're my friend forever.
So I feel like the first part of this, people, our audience might not know a whole lot about you. So can I ask, how did you deconvert and become part of the movement?
The movement.
Well, I deconverted about 20 years ago, so there was not a movement at the time at all. I didn't even know there was such a thing as atheism. I just knew I stopped believing in God. I didn't know it had a name. I didn't know about the Googles or anything kids use today.
Well, Google wasn't around 20 years ago.
Yeah,
So you're good for not...
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm an OG for sure.
Yeah.
I deconverted by reading the Bible.
Oh.
That's a familiar story.
It's a pretty good shortcut. Yeah.
I was a pretty fundamentalist Christian. I used to go to church 3 times a week.
3 times?
Yeah, for hours.
Okay, well, I would...
And
I've
we
never-
don't even have chairs. We're Christian Orthodox, so we're supposed to suffer through the
So kneeling the whole time?
Yes.
Oh, man, that's
Do they have...
just to
wait,
hear.
is this to like kneel on stones, or is there like little...
Well, they might have brought in stones just to further the suffering.
That's right. Kneel on razor blades.
No, we're standing
nails.
and then kneeling and then standing and then kneeling and yes.
Wow.
I thought pew aerobics were bad, but
Well, I noticed some corruption in my church. I didn't like my priests so much, so I stopped going to my specific church and hopped around from church to church until I was like, okay, I'm not digging this anymore. So I tried to get a hold of a Bible, which was quite hard because we were advised against reading the Bible on our own because we couldn't possibly understand the Word of God without.
Oh, wow.
I was going to say
That is weird.
very strong defensive tactic by the church.
Well, they're perfectly right because once I started to read it on my own, I deconverted.
that's what I was going to say.
That's right. I mean,
It's a smart move on the church. Yeah, don't look at it. Well,
Yeah, historically they've tried to prevent people from reading it.
Oh, yeah. I remember this one day I was in my room and just laughing, and my mom asked me what I'm laughing at. I'm like, oh, I'm just reading the Bible. It's just I was reading about the birds we're not supposed to eat, the unclean birds, I guess the predatory birds, the seagull, the vulture, the eagle, and the bat. Because
the bat
flies.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yes.
the bat bird.
Yeah. I never knew what the distinguishing thing between clean and unclean was. So I guess.
Yeah, predatory. I guess they tried them all and they didn't like the meat and made an excuse for it, probably.
Sounds about right.
Yeah.
Sorry. I keep interrupting your story. Go on, please.
That was the story. Well, there were many stories.
Yeah.
I guess, so where did you grow up then? More specifically, I think it's Romania, yeah?
Yeah, I grew up in Romania. I still live there. For people who don't know, that's next to Russia. You know Russia, they have vodka. Sarah Palin can see it from Alaska. So everybody can know now. We also invented Dracula, so you're welcome.
Oh, thank you.
We've gotten a few
That's
good
awesome.
movies out of that. I was
gonna say, but
probably
eventually
more bad movies.
I was going to say, eventually that led to Twilight, so...
Oh, I'm so sorry then.
Yeah,
For
but
the PTSD and everything.
It's immortality, the old-fashioned way.
Yeah.
It's like,
Drink the blood of your enemies. No, sorry. So you grew up in Romania, and then, so Orthodox...
Orthodox Christian, yes.
And then you deconverted, but you, like you said, you didn't start doing activism.
Oh, no.
Not immediately.
There was no place to do
I would
activism.
imagine.
I was the only atheist I knew. I was also a lot of the only things I knew. Like, the first thing I Googled was, is there a God? The second thing I Googled was, can I live without eating animals? I was also the only vegetarian I knew, or the only person who was thinking about those things.
Right. Starting to get ethical. Yeah.
But why? If God won't attack or punish
right.
you for your sin? No.
I actually always had of course, everybody's familiar with the problem of evil. I saw it a little differently. I grew up with animals. I loved animals. I never understood why should they be punished because some bitch ate an apple that one time. I mean, yes, just animals eating each other, suffering. Yeah. It never made sense to me how a benevolent God could create such a horror. But I thought it was the fact. I thought, I mean, I grew up with creationism in schools actually. I was born in 92 and our revolution was in 99. And because we were our communist regime was very, very oppressive and restrictive. Everybody associated atheism with evil. So once that fell, there were churches everywhere. And yes, it's still to this day when people hear I'm an atheist, okay, so you like communism a lot. Yes, I do. Oh. My favorite thing.
Right.
Yeah. The oppressive governments, hurrah.
I take it you had to keep your atheism secret?
I did. I absolutely did. And at first, it was very alienating. I hope I English right.
Yeah.
On that word.
You're good. Yeah.
Excellent use.
Yeah.
There was nobody I could talk to even.
Right.
Then I started working and bought myself a computer and discovered the Googles, like I said, and then discovered there's a whole community of people who don't believe in God. And that was amazing. So when I started to do YouTube, the thought of actually making a living of it was not even a dream. I just needed to talk about things.
Right.
Yeah.
And actually, the first video I ever made was the blasphemy challenge. I don't know if you...
I was to my shame, I didn't really get into the atheist movement or even the kind of conversation until very recently. So I wasn't aware of you and your videos until just like a couple of days ago.
I'm so sorry.
So I just, I've been checking out some of your stuff, and I absolutely
Again, I'm
love
sorry.
It. No, I love it. I really do. But yeah, I checked out the blasphemy challenge. That was really cool.
Yeah.
Well, I did a blasphemy challenge. For people who don't know, that was just blaspheming against the Holy Spirit, because there's a passage in the Bible saying that's the only sin that can never be forgiven.
Right.
You can rape people, blow up churches, you're sorry about it, you forget. Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
You repent.
Repent.
You
yeah.
repent
Yeah,
and
yeah.
forget also.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And God apparently forgets it also, unless you say something against the Holy Spirit, and then you're fucked forever. So,
I was gonna.
because everybody in my family told me I'm just going through this phase, and it's so adorable that I'm rebelling, and all of that, I decided to do the blasphemy challenge just to show, no, I'm actually serious about it.
Yeah, let's make it permanent.
Yes, let's make it permanent. And my mom cried about it.
I'm
yes,
sorry.
And
it was very sad, but now it's fine, 20 years later.
good. It only took 20 years.
Yeah, no, it actually took about 10, but yeah.
Yeah, okay. Oh, well, only 10 years then. Yeah, no. Yeah, so, I mean, if you don't mind me asking, do you still... Oh, okay. I was going to say, keep in touch with your family or
Yes, right now, everything is fine. Nobody in my family is a Christian anymore because of me, so I'm damning everybody to hell. Yay me.
Awesome.
Yes, I think actually,
Wow.
I can't tell whether that in my mind is more. Yeah, that's
I mean, at
awesome.
first,
Jealous.
we were not...
Fucking impressed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But like I said, it only took 20 years.
Still.
We would not talk about it at all at first.
Oh,
and my mom is still very kooky in her beliefs. If you're hearing this, Mom, I love you. She still believes in a lot of unreasonable stuff. She believes in ghosts, aliens, the children of the forest in Game of Thrones. Yeah, those are real. Anything that appeals.
Cool.
Yeah. Wait, literally those? Or some, oh, okay.
Why not?
Why not?
Evidence?
What is that? No. But at least she's not a Christian. At least she's not
Right.
judgmental and damning people to hell. My grandmother actually has cancer, sadly, and
Sorry to hear that.
yes, thank you for that. And she still doesn't believe in heaven or hell, which is amazing. She's 85, so I'm very proud of her. I think my mom deconverted after my brother did. My brother was about 12 or 13 when he was like, okay, no, this is bullshit. So my poor mom was like, my babies are going to hell. Oh no. So I guess we kind of bullied her into giving up Christianity.
Well, yeah. I mean, not on purpose, though.
A little bit on purpose, but it was a little bit of a common front.
Yeah.
You have this just forceful attitude about it. You're just like, yeah. Well,
I gotta imagine it's so brave and inspiring for you to have done what you did when you did it.
Well, thank you. I don't consider it that brave. I mean, we had no apostasy laws in Romania, so I find bravery on an entire different level.
Yeah,
but thank you.
Yeah, there's a spectrum.
You just get
of
social
course, but-
stigma.
yeah, I was going to say.
Yeah.
Oh, is it? This is I may change the way I do my activism because you're like, well, the government's not going to get me, so nothing matters. It's
Yeah,
like,
pretty much.
oh, so all of my concerns are petty and small.
Yes, I was actually on a panel a few days ago at a conference, and we were talking about the threats and rape threats and all of that. And I was like, yeah, sure, come kill me, rape me in Romania, fly for 30 hours, I challenge you. I was never afraid of any of that, so I never had that. I never considered it a bravery.
Yes.
What I was
Fly
doing.
for 30 hours and then you got your entire family to defend you.
Yeah.
Yes, my grandmother specifically.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Also, I have 3 cats, so
All right.
Well, I mean,
they are very scratchy.
A united front.
United.
Yeah.
I feel like
Your
Jamie, you want to ask about her cats?
I mean,
I could almost feel you wanting to ask because you're the
okay.
cat person
So
here.
just because you're right this time doesn't mean I always ask about
I
cats.
am a prophet.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you're on the wrong show then.
Shit,
So-
you're right. Never
Oh,
mind.
yeah. Sorry. So, I feel like it's irrelevant now to ask about cats. But like, how long have you had your cats? They cute? Whatever. Instagram.
They are all over my phone, which I will show you after this is over.
Cool.
Otherwise, we're never going to finish this segment ever.
That's true. Yeah. Maybe you are a prophet. Actually.
Maybe. I do have 3 cats. That was never the plan. Somehow it ended up being.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, now I
Yeah.
have 3 cats.
That's how they work.
yeah.
People call me a crazy cat lady. I'm like, a lady? Nobody who knows me in real life would ever say that about me.
What are their names?
Mickey is the boy, and then I have Chica, and then I have Beta, which I named because she's a beta. When I brought home my cat Mickey, he had eye surgery, so there was this little kitten without an eye, without balls,
Aw.
and my cat Beta saw him, and she's huge, and she just rolled over and was like, "Okay, you're my master now," and I'm like, "Okay, your name is Beta."
That's kind of adorable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is totally adorable.
Yeah,
What are
yeah.
you saying?
Okay, not
cats,
kind of.
man.
Yeah.
Definitely
Yeah.
adorable.
Yeah. Watch out. She'll bully you into atheism.
Yeah, I guess. Jeez.
Or
Now
out
I
of
see-
and then back into.
Now I see how it happened.
Yeah. So you kind of already took one of the questions I was going to ask, which is like, women, unpopular opinions, the internet, welcome trolls and death threats and all of that. But you sort of,
Yeah, I think there's some sensitivity chip missing in my brain because I never cared about that stuff that much. Maybe I should have taken the threats more seriously. I'm sure that was not proper grammar.
no, you're
you're
good.
good.
You're good. No, you said that correctly. I was just sort of saying.
Yeah, but you lie a lot. You're all atheists.
Well, that's true. I mean,
Yeah, we
well,
don't have
We have no moral center.
absolute morality or beholden to.
I agree with you. We don't have an objective moral system.
Well,
but
I
no one
disagree.
does. Oh. Well,
Objectively.
I can't tell whether you're serious, but in any case, that's
Yeah, nobody can. I find that amazing.
Yeah.
We don't want to make assumptions.
Yeah.
I can say you're good at sarcasm,
Yeah.
at the very least. Yeah.
And
I
that
gotta
is
be good
not
at
a lie.
something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sarcasm and cats.
Yeah. I mean, those are kind of the two best things. But, but I mean, you say like, an empathy chip missing and maybe I should have taken it more seriously. But doing that makes it easier for other people to do that. So I guess, thank you. But
I hope so. Because I was very inspired by other people who I was watching before I started doing my own thing.
do you remember who or not want to say? Because now they've, become Nazis?
Irrelevant and
Or
nobody
irrelevant?
cares anymore.
Or
Yeah, let's
So
not-
sarcasm,
yeah,
cats, and sass.
Those old atheists.
I'm pure evil.
Yeah.
No, I was watching a lot of science videos from Thunderfoot. I was watching some comedy, I guess, from The Amazing Atheist. I was watching other women atheists. Lacey Green was back then, Ashley Paramore, Bionic Dance.
Yes.
Bionic Dance still does atheism videos. Good
Yeah.
for her. She never got burnt out. I don't know how she does it.
yeah.
It's weird.
Dennis, I know you're a big fan.
Yeah, I'm a fan.
Yeah.
She's doing the heavy lifting, and it's like she never tires.
Yeah. She's powered by the unholy spirit.
Right.
Yeah. Well, that's, I mean,
Well,
incredible.
whenever she hears somebody say they're a big fan of her, she would say something like, if you eat well and exercise, you will be a regular-sized fan in no time. That's not my joke, it's hers.
I should take that to heart. Yes.
Ooh, that's good.
No. Sorry, I'm enjoying this sort of interview too much, but I think it's sort of come to a natural close.
Okay, so bye.
Sorry. I didn't want to cut you off, Kevin. Were you?
Christian mom. Wives who refuse sex should get over it since it won't take that long. This is from Hemet Meta over at the Friendly Atheist. Some of you may be aware of Lori Alexander, aka the transformed wife.
Oh God. Yeah, sorry.
I am unaware of this.
Warning,
man.
a lot of our articles are terrible, bad news.
What is this thing?
Okay, so the transformed wife, she does like video blogs and stuff, and she gives horrible advice to exclusively women.
Yep.
And this jumped out at me because actually I watched, because this is about sex.
Yeah.
I watched a thing.
What are you going to say you watched online
Yeah,
right
there is
now?
such a thing as porn. I'm just saying you don't have to read those blogs.
Mr. Atheist was doing a video breakdown of another Christian who was talking about and basically admitted to being a terrible lover.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, that's not necessarily religion. That's just
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, but I mean, I'm starting to see a pattern.
But this person is a...
The lack of porn.
Of Christians
yeah,
basically more or less admitting that they don't have good sex lives. I don't know.
I say, yeah, no. If you no sex ed, no pornography, no knowledge of anything.
So this woman is basically a shill for the patriarchy?
Yeah. You can,
That's
Okay.
excellent phrase, patriarchy.
Yeah.
that was pretty good. Anyways, so she put out a video a little while back ago, and she got a lot of pushback from critics saying that she was supporting marital rape. And so she did a new video. She did a new video because she disagrees. And so she says, I teach women that what the Bible commands. The Bible commands that we do not deprive our husbands of sexual intimacy. This is from God, not from me.
I hate that.
It's gotta be from God because it's prevalent in so many religions. When I was reading about Islam, I read the Quran after reading the Bible. It's
sorry.
much more entertaining, though, I have to say.
Yeah?
Yeah, besides about Allah being so good and then Allah being so evil that he's gonna punish you forever. I was reading a hadith and
well, damn.
I'm trying to remember how exactly it was phrased, but it was something like advice for wives, of course, that you need to wait for your husband on the bed, and when he gets home, you should ask if he wants to have sex, and if he does, then you should do it. It doesn't matter if you were doing other important stuff, like being at the stove, because that's obviously the other important stuff you can do besides sex.
Yeah, I guess.
And if he wants to, then perfect. If he doesn't, then you should just go and pray for the next time. So that was amazing.
Wow.
Jeez.
I didn't think anything was going to horrify me about religious marriage more than his story.
Wow. Yeah, that actually
yeah.
tops that top informed
I
wife.
was going to say, yeah, you are winning at the nonprofits, and you're just showing up for one episode. So
I knew this was a competition, so I came armed.
yeah. Boom.
So it says that the wife really doesn't, if the wife doesn't feel like having sex, then she needs to just get over it and obey God. We live our lives by doing what is right, by obeying God even when we don't feel like it. Yes, that even includes sex. You know, how long is it going to take?
Wow.
And now we know why she's not enjoying it.
Yeah.
Exactly. There's a pattern that I'm seeing of, yeah.
I should
It'd say cart before a horse here somewhere, but it's...
So she later on in the video, she talks about a story that she got from a woman who was saying like, "Hey, I need your advice. I don't know whether or not my husband raped me or not because I wasn't in the mood when we fell asleep. I told him that basically, and then I woke up and realized that he was, inside me while I was asleep. And I woke up, I came to and realized this. And I don't know whether or not this was okay or not." And Transform Wife says, that's totally fine.
So consent is not an issue for this.
I don't think
More or
that
less,
she
yeah.
knows
Person.
that's a word necessarily. When it was the question, I was going to say, I know the answer to this one. No. So
Yeah.
And even within this horrible person's idea of what's right and wrong, how can someone be said to be moral if they never gave permission?
I mean, I guess from her point of view, you don't need permission because you just have to automatically submit to your husband because that's what the Bible says.
it's it's
permission, consent doesn't matter after you become married.
there's I think it might be the Junior Hovind or Hovind. How the fuck you pronounce his name?
Eric Hovind?
Maybe, yeah. Is he the one that was, once you say I do on your wedding day, that's consent for the rest of your life?
Oh,
or some
wow.
horrible shit?
Did he
Never heard
really?
that one.
Oh, sorry. Hey,
I don't know if that was him, but
fuck.
fuck that guy.
Yeah, whoever it was, fuck him forever.
So it's like
Google it.
might as well be chains and hobbles. I mean, what the hell?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. It was, I mean,
We agree that rape is bad.
strong stance.
Objectively.
Yes.
Strong stance. Yeah.
Yeah, we were so brave.
Yeah. All right. With that, I might actually agree. Objective moral fact.
So yeah, she gives horrible advice, but she did allude to the fact that let's see, she says, "Yeah, it doesn't take much effort, but it makes him happy, and this is what God tells us to do." And hey, it's not a big deal because it's not going to take very long. She says something like, "What, 2 or 3 minutes?" And then it's
right
boom,
there.
over and done.
So
Is she married to Speedy Gonzalez? What the hell?
I mean, this sounds like satire. Self-parody?
Yeah, she is. She seems like a self-parody, but
She's completely serious.
yeah, totally genuine.
Jeez.
Yeah.
And 2 or 3 minutes, I mean, Jesus, that's not even foreplay. What do you
Yeah.
her,
That's not
This
really the
horrible-
objectionable part of this, Kevin. But
What's weird is
I'm latching onto the wrong thing.
she describes it as sexual intimacy. It
touching?
doesn't sound like intimacy when you wake up.
No.
I mean, really? Come on.
Now I know how you guys feel when I read all the way through the horrifying articles I find. But yeah, I didn't mean
pretty
to
horrific.
do it. Yeah.
Yeah, that's
so-
the worst thing.
Ask me again why I'm an activist.
Man,
Yeah.
I thought we were going to get more laughs out of her, but
Oh, sorry.
Okay, it's the worst
No.
thing since Game of Thrones. Last episode.
okay.
Yeah.
That is as close to spoilers. Holy shit. Although, actually, we don't know exactly when. Oh, you said the date. Never mind. So
I did.
it out. Yep,
Yeah, but we don't know when this is going to air, so.
that's true. We'll bleep it. So,
Did I just make a rape joke, by the way?
Well, I would say.
I didn't
No.
see Game of Thrones.
So what I will say is you made a joke about something being worse than that lady's statement, but I don't think you mocked rape. But then again, I'm not maybe the best judge of this. In fact, I can say objectively as well. I am not the best judge of this.
I have no context. So.
Yeah, but I mean, hey, we've got an editor at least.
I mean, I'm sure there are some people who would consider me I don't know, a sexist just for making that joke. That's.
I feel like that's the wrong word.
The wrong word. No, it's what I mean by sexism, but in a non-sexist way. That's sexism. So when something is portrayed as being sexist, but is really not. I'm trying to coin it, goddammit.
Oh, okay. I didn't know. Yeah, God. Well, consider it fucking coined then. Damn, son. Just as long as you don't bully me into a religion, we'll be fine. All right.
Okay,
No,
I'm gonna try not.
Unlikely.
Yeah.
though.
All right.
So yeah,
That's hideous.
Yeah, it was really meant to be a very short, little,
Like the Speedy Gonzalez dude.
yeah,
Yes.
like Mr.
You got
the transformed husband. Real.
There's
fast.
does he have his own thing?
No, I don't think so. I'm just,
That's not very biblical of her talking or teaching people things. The Bible, there's some passage
about
about that,
what a
right?
lazy
It's like
lady
2
is?
Timothy something sexist something. Like,
I don't know. I got PTSD from the Bible. I'm trying to not.
I won't throw you back.
I don't
on
think the Bible
battlefield
has
here.
the word sexist in it. So
No.
It does say that women aren't allowed to teach anything, though.
Oh yeah,
That's right.
It's like
Yeah, no, for sure.
yeah.
There
teacher
is
have
that in the Bible. I just don't remember the passage.
it's like teacher have authority over her husband or any man.
It's either Timothy
she must be
or
silent.
Silent. Yes.
Deuteronomy.
Oh no, it's 1 Timothy 2 something. I don't know. Just read that one. It's terrible. Shit. Internet apologists say warning this week is terrible. Like all the others.
You got cut off.
Yeah, sorry, what were you saying?
Oh, I was just gonna start a
pressure.
game about the most sexist story in the Bible that people can recall.
Oh, man.
Right.
Because I do have one.
What's that?
The one about the cheating wives. Do you guys know that? Remember that?
Basically,
Yes, the fidelity test that you can do.
Oh,
yes.
Oh, okay. I call it something different.
The God-sanctioned abortion. right?
Yeah, I call it Jesus abortions.
Yeah.
But yeah.
I'm not
What?
Okay, so Dennis, being a free his whole life through, has no idea.
Right. So describe this.
Right. So if you are a man, of course, and you have a wife and you suspect her of cheating, there is a test you can do. You take her to your local priest and he administers a test in a glass. He puts some holy water and what you call holy dust, holy ground. I don't know, the ground
They called
around
it
the church.
tabernacle floor.
Something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
It
basically,
was just floor
I call it
crap from
Jesus salt
yeah.
or whatever.
Jesus
grief.
soul. Yeah, they
Okay.
make a holy mud drink, let's
So
call
they
that.
work up a magic
Yeah.
elixir.
They
Yeah.
pour
Right.
it and dance around it a
And
little.
she has to drink this holy mud
Yeah.
and then go back home with her husband. And if during the night she has tummy aches, that means she has been unfaithful. So this is just if the husband suspects her of infidelity. No, nothing.
Right.
Nothing proven. Nobody told him. Just suspects. And of course, the only witness to the tummy aches. I mean, I would assume anybody drinking a glass of mud would have some tummy aches.
Yeah.
But
Yeah,
even if she
you would
can, withhold the pain in, he can still say no.
Yeah.
She had
Right.
those, and then she gets killed.
Yeah.
So that's fun.
also,
Wow.
I think it was
Now, is this...
It was partly meant to be a plan B type rant.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
You want a newer, younger wife? Why not?
Yes,
So is this in the Bible or is this a local thing?
No, it's
Totally
in the
Bible.
Bible. Yeah.
Jeez.
It's Numbers 5:11.
Okay.
Yeah. As I recall, if
Damn.
if the fetus is basically aborted, then that means that she was unfaithful
Yeah.
and that it is another man's child.
Yeah.
If
That too, yeah.
if she does not miscarry, then that means that it is your child and that she was not misfaithful,
Yeah.
Right.
unfaithful.
Well, mine from the thing would be the bit in the Bible where the guy goes, "No, you can't have the angels. Here's my daughters."
Yeah.
It's Lot's daughters, in Sodom. That's pretty bad. I can't think of anything worse than those other than have no authority. Well, my contribution, I already said, have no authority over her husband or any man. She must be silent. And I'm just like, well, that's just petty. But I guess it's not as bad as rape and forced abortion. Then
I feel like if you're a Christian and you're, really gung-ho anti-abortion, then, your God isn't.
Yeah.
Your God's totally fine with it.
Oh, that's actually a good interpretation of it. I will try to remember that.
But that mud elixir thing is like, it's like the dunking that they did for witches
Yeah.
back in.
Although misconception.
In the
So
day, it's
most
like-
of the witches killed in the United States were actually hung.
Okay. But how did they test to see whether they were? Was it all court
they-
trials? And
I think they had trials with
kangaroo
spectral
trial?
evidence. So someone went,
Right.
I dreamed that she was a witch, and so now let's kill her.
But there was dunking in Europe, I think, wasn't there?
Probably. I think there's some of that. I don't know. I'm not an expert. I just know that
There must have been dunked
Yeah.
someplace at
If
some
you
point.
don't drown, you're a witch. If you do drown, you were okay.
Yeah.
It's like,
Yeah.
wow.
Because then we all know that your soul's in heaven, so we don't care. Boom,
Yeah.
done. Yeah. Because witches float because they're made of wood. So there's
That's right.
Yeah.
That's where they got that skit. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's our shit internet apologists say.
Yeah.
No,
No, actually, that was. I'm glad you brought that up.
yeah. Because that's much better than what I had by a lot.
And we can allude back to that later because it is pertinent to our last article.
Yeah. So there's a religious donor who was giving money to help pay for an 18-month-old cancer treatment, right? So Callie's June is an 18-month-old child. Her parents, who are both women, so look out because they hate Jesus.
It's
apparently.
probably why the poor thing has cancer, right?
Oh, boom! It's like you. Maybe you are a prophet and on the wrong show. What do we say about spoilers? That's the. So the donor
On another level.
Yeah, the donor gave more than $7,000, but then learned that Callie's parents were a lesbian couple, and withdrew it. Because quote, she needs a mommy and a daddy.
Wow, that's incredibly evil and petty.
Yeah, and weirdly stated.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Yeah, it's one of the things that she posted to explain was, my prayers for Callie. I was going to donate $7,600 to her fund, but I found out her parents are lesbian. I've chosen to donate to St. Jude due to that fact. Sorry, I'll still pray for her though, but maybe it's God's way of getting your attention that she needs a mommy and a daddy, not two moms.
So I was giving spoilers, basically.
Yeah.
Unspeakable turds.
Yeah. I mean, at this point, I should throw something out joking, but it's terrible.
Yeah.
It isn't what.
Jeez.
The other thing I find terrible is, an 18-year-old child and it's not covered for cancer treatment?
No, not in America.
No.
Yeah.
We're behind.
Yeah, we believe in Jesus insurance, apparently. So
Because otherwise you're communists.
that's true.
That's
Yeah.
basically the comparison that's given.
Sorry to go on a little bit of a tangent, but what was the deal with Obama and communism and the Joker poster? Does anybody remember that? In
Yes.
2008, there was
there
a poster of Obama as the
As the Joker.
from
Yeah.
Batman and said communism underneath, which I never understood because if anything, the Joker was an anarchist.
So
And
I mean, pretty much.
Don't look for reason from that
I was going to say,
those people.
don't look to American public discourse for an understanding of socialism, communism, anarchism, or the difference there.
Or even
I've just
comic
given
book
up on it.
characters.
Or even comic book characters, apparently.
I mean, it was around the time the Joker, the movie came out, so I guess it was a evil
thing.
character.
Yeah,
so
I mean,
that's
memes
Obama
kind of
problem.
inherently lack nuance, but
Well,
that was
at least,
especially.
I mean, sometimes they make sense, though. And that, I don't know.
I mean, the guy was burning money. How communism? What?
Yeah.
I what the fuck at that thing for like days.
Yeah. Although they
Oh yeah, socialism. Sorry, socialism.
Yeah.
Right.
But I mean,
Which is the same thing, obviously.
Right.
it is in America. It means scary. That's just American public discourse and not knowing anything. I wish I could make a joke out of it, but I'm a cynic now.
It's over the top hatred. So
means the opposite of Jesus, who loves capitalism. So,
where facts don't mean anything.
Yeah, if
You just gotta hate.
If you watch any right-wing news outlet, the only socialist country on the planet is Venezuela right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. Nothing about those European countries that they want that are immigrants to come from or whatever.
What's European? I mean, there's like Russia and then maybe Europe as a general country.
They just
the
mean,
EU.
Yeah, they mean like, those places where white people come from, generally. But, wow, it's got...
That's okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, the places with awesome
I mean,
healthcare.
was there anything other than this woman is a hateful, evil bitch?
I think there's a link to the GoFundMe page. If you Google it and would like to help, Callie June. There's also the Facebook page, Callie Strong, Tiny but Mighty,
Okay.
and a GoFundMe page.
So maybe let's try and make up for
That
this evil that this woman. I mean,
I think on GoFundMe you can leave a note like, because this is stronger than prayers or something would be
Right.
sarcastic.
yeah, I love how
post,
she's
but-
replacing the money with prayers because
Well, she is. She's like, oh, instead of helping this one, I'm just going to give it to St. Jude because that's the same. But it's not the same.
Minus
Sorry.
the cancer.
Yeah, I was
Yeah.
going to say minus the cancer, but
at least she's still giving the money to,
I think it would be
to
better.
anyone, but still.
at least
it
she's
is a
giving the money
big-
not to a church.
At least it's not gay money now.
It's nice that her altruism is
Because
conditional.
homosexual monies.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
it's
know.
like, it's not
That's
gay
why the EU is failing. The colorful money, it makes it gay,
Yeah.
and so now it's collapsing, right? Into Satanism, something. No one else ends
I
up watching as many
actually-
Christian films as I do.
I wouldn't be surprised if that was an actual
Life's too short, man.
conspiracy theory.
I don't know if it counts as a conspiracy theory if you're just a pastor making it up, because Satan is only one person, so he can't conspire.
Well, I mean,
That
If
sounds
it-
like
if
a
it
Dennis
goes
question, actually.
There was no collusion. No.
if it goes viral, is it automatically a conspiracy theory? Even if it's just one idiot saying something dumb?
I don't think the popularity of a thing makes it a conspiracy theory. I don't know. Do you spend a lot of time mulling over conspiracy theories?
No, not really. No, I try to keep the few remaining neurons I have after all the fundamentalism. So no.
Okay, so you don't.
I need them for Game of Thrones theories.
Yes, I watched far too many flat Earth videos.
Yeah.
Just going, what the hell is wrong with these people? And yeah, I can feel my brain cells dying.
I was going to say, I'm glad you're still here helping out at the ACA after that. As opposed to,
You mentioned Eric Hovine earlier, and
I mean, I wish I hadn't.
yeah,
I wish we didn't have to, yes.
the most irate I've ever been recently was when I was watching a movie that he was a part of called The Truth About Dinosaurs. And I got a little bit too drunk and I was yelling, I was screaming at my television like every couple of minutes.
Yeah. I'm starting to think maybe you're right, Dennis. Life might
end up
be
doing that
too
myself.
short. Yeah.
It's a good thing. Yeah, it's a good thing that I didn't have neighbors at the time because we shared a wall, our two living rooms. They probably would have called the cops because they probably would have thought that I was,
possessed because you were
I'm-
screaming about Jesus.
And I'm not
loudly and
known
angry.
for my self-control when I get that angry, but it's like it's amazing my computer monitor, survived.
I'm usually so soft spoken,
I just wanna-
and I was,
Yeah.
I was yelling every couple of minutes. You fucking,
Yes,
Well,
you
when
disingenuous lying son of a.
I know the feeling.
Yeah.
When I was in school, there were two conflicting theories about dinosaurs. One of them was spoilers, they did not exist, and the other one was spoilers, they existed at the same time with humans. And I was like, okay, so how big was that ark?
Yeah.
What did they eat?
Yeah.
All the questions. I had all the questions.
Wow, I thought the dinosaurs existed alongside humans was a recent thing, but I guess not.
Well,
two of them.
I learned today from one of your videos that there were two other Ark replicas before Ken Ham's thing.
so he's not
yeah,
even
yeah, yeah.
original? God,
No, he's not the original.
man. Are they,
That was
are they
really
also
fascinating.
in America?
But I
Are
think
they here?
did those two float?
As I recall, I think one of
I know
them
there's one that floats.
was actually
Really?
I don't think it.
Yeah.
That's ambitious. Of him.
On what? On puffy clouds? Did anybody test that with all the animals and
it
stuff?
was
This
built.
is so intriguing.
It was built. From what I hear, it was built on a boat hull. So it's sort of a facade that looks like an ark.
Right.
Yeah,
But
and
on
then
a boat that
like,
actually
is it-
floats, but it's not really great.
Is it in the water?
Apparently, it's in the water.
Really?
I could be completely
That's
wrong.
so much
I'm
more
just
expensive.
hearing a vague.
I mean, I'm glad they're at least wasting their money on something stupid rather than spending it on taking people's rights.
Right.
That's so expensive.
It being able to float and it being seaworthy are two entirely different things, though.
That's true.
Yes.
Yeah, and the other one was in China.
I thought they didn't put
The
up.
other one in Westbros.
Really? Really?
No.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
they'd probably like to have one though.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I thought the Ken Ham one was the only one until today.
Noah's Ark crashes in the Netherlands. That's a headline. A nearly full-size replica of Noah's Ark broke free from its moorings in the Netherlands last week, drifting into the storm-tossed harbor and colliding with other vessels. This was January 2018. So
What was it doing in the Netherlands?
I don't know.
That's
The
so
Ark's
weird.
current owner, Odd Peters, sounds like he's from the Netherlands, said that the strong winds tore the Ark away from the boulders it was moored to in the fishing harbor of Urk.
It's the Dutch are not that big on creationism.
I know.
I find that so surprising. Maybe that's why it crashed.
The Ark, actually a wooden structure on 21 steel barges, suffered minor damage but caused significant damage to nearby ferry and several smaller boats.
So it's suspended on multiple boats.
Yes,
21 of them.
apparently.
Okay. Isn't it amazing that some multiple 100-year-old dude and his 7 kids built it with wooden
Gopher
hammers
wood?
or whatever the fuck it was?
And then slavery happened.
yeah.
Because that makes perfect sense.
Yeah, the Ark was originally built by Dutch building contractor, carpenter, and creationist Johan Huybers.
Come on. I thought that...
So, 390 feet long, 98 feet wide, and 75 feet high.
Sounds like enough room for all the dinosaurs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No,
Well, it's enough room for all the different kinds.
Oh my God.
Oh, God, yes.
Yeah. Oh,
And then and then evolution happened at a insanely exponential rate to create all the millions and millions of different
but-
And the
Yeah,
penguins walked to Antarctica.
Yeah, but,
and
but Kevin, have you considered
Wobble, wobble.
that all things are possible with Jesus?
I actually hadn't.
they keep telling us that.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's because they don't know how things work. So, yeah, I really killed that. I've always joked that if it was possible, if the Ark went broke and they had to sell it or foreclose on it, we should get it and then drag it into the sea to see if it would float. The Ken Ham's Ark.
Oh, yeah.
To see if it would float. Although I feel like that would be terrible for the environment, littering the
But
bottom
then there
of the
will
ocean.
be an explanation for why it didn't float. It's the atheists trying to do it, and
Yep.
but the Dutch guy somehow has something to do with it. I don't know.
Yeah. Oh, all right. I'm already forming the apologetics in my head because that's where I go. It's a modern day Tower of Babel. Godless fools are trying to do what God did, and yeah,
That's pretty good.
yeah. Maybe I would definitely make more money as a preacher than doing this. But
But you have ethics.
yeah, and I don't want to destroy the world or people's lives. So
And then after you make all the money, you can burn it like a good socialist.
yeah,
There we go.
socialist, pagan, Nazi, anarchist, communist, nihilist. Just throw all the scary words. That's
right.
Satanist.
Even if
Satanist.
they're,
How
even if
could
they're
I forget?
mutually exclusive. Go for it.
Yeah, like any of the other words in nihilist.
This is from the Christian Broadcast Network. It is titled, "If Embryos Are Ruled as Persons, How Might That Affect Legal Abortion?" So the U.S. Supreme Court has a chance, and
This is
there is some very biased language in here. I did a little bit of editorializing to get rid of some of the well poisoning. But anyways, the U.S. Supreme Court has a chance to decide a big question for the country. Are fertilized embryos people or property? Recent cases involving the fight over the fate of frozen fertilized embryos show another example of our divided nation. For instance, an Arizona court ruled an ex-wife could give birth to frozen embryos she shared with her ex-husband, despite her ex's objections. while a Colorado court decided in favor of an ex-husband who wanted the frozen embryos he shared with his ex-wife disposed of. So we've got two courts. We've got two courts making two entirely different decisions.
Right.
Yeah.
Forced paternity versus, I guess, murder is the other one.
Well, I mean, these are frozen embryos, so they're not.
What is their status?
They're located in a facility.
Yeah.
Wait, what is the language that you changed out of the? I mean, not to repoison the well or anything.
Well, I said disposed of, whereas they said treated like property and thrown away.
Right.
Yeah.
I went with something more accurate.
Yes. Yeah. Just like Satan.
Yeah.
It's kind of it becomes an interesting legal question, I suppose. But if they're, otherwise what? Like, I don't know if you read the actual case. Was it? He has to.
Well, I didn't
pay
read
whatever
these,
service is continuing
these
them.
specific cases.
Oh,
they just alluded to them, showing that there's an obvious
A split in the circuits.
It can go either way if it goes up to the Supreme Court.
What is the
So these embryos, they are fertilized and then stored. So there is DNA from both the mother and the father.
right?
All right. Yeah.
So
they've been concepted.
There doesn't seem to be. I'm not detecting. Is there religious interference in this decision?
Well, so
Not as of yet.
Right.
Well, I mean,
it kind of. So it depends on how much you consider. Is a fertilized egg a person? It depends on how much you consider the influence of religion.
Well, it doesn't really seem to address that. It seems, who does that fetus belong to? Who does that frozen embryo belong to?
Well, so that's
what
sort of
those cases seem to indicate.
Yes.
Yeah, and this is about whether or not it is. I'm going to get to it more specifically in just a second.
Yeah.
Whether or not that thing is going to be legally perceived as property or
Okay,
a person.
right.
And whose property?
Yes, get there.
Yeah, that too.
Read that part.
So we've got a subheading: persons or property, major implications either way.
Yeah.
Advocates for the women in the Colorado case, that is the one that the husband won, have asked the U.S. Supreme Court to take the case and rule that frozen embryos are persons with a right to life. You can see where this is going.
Jeez.
So just in case you were wondering whether
Frozen embryo is a person.
I mean, it's interesting because in my mind, the fundamental objection in terms of rights relating to abortion is it doesn't matter how old you are as a person, you can't place a claim on someone else's body if they don't want you to,
Right.
period. But in terms of this is a frozen embryo, like the container, the literal non-living container that they're in has no rights. So that makes it actually a more interesting legal question.
Yeah,
This is a possession thing.
Well,
I was really fascinated by this, and
It is. It's bizarre.
Yeah.
So
This dovetails with cryogenics.
Well,
So if there are frozen people, I don't know what rights they have. I don't know if anyone has decreed what rights they have.
yeah, because usually there's like their descendants are paying to continue to have them frozen.
Well, what they usually do is they get a life insurance policy that pays.
and
for
they
their
basically lay
For how
out
long?
essentially a will of what they would like to be done with their body.
Does any of this craziness exist outside the United States, or at least in Romania?
No, I'm just thinking froyo. I hear frozen. I think I'm just so hungry, man. I'm sorry. No,
We should just let it go.
We don't even do that much in vitro. I mean, we started to in the last 10 years or so, but there's nowhere near the complexity of discussions that you guys are having over here. I'm quite fascinated, to be honest. Also hungry, froyo.
Yeah. We'll get froyo. So wait, Just as a clarifying, so wait, the church in Romania doesn't have giant, like, Jesus wants this objections to...
Oh, no, of course. We do oppose abortion at any stage for any reason.
Sure. Oh, okay.
But just the technology of frozen the eggs and...
Yeah, frozen yogurt.
And I guess being passed on as a will of sorts.
Oh, okay. But like...
all of this, I'm quite new to.
Right. But in vitro fertilization, is the church in Romania opposed to that?
Not necessarily, but it's not really discussed. I mean, we are very big on procreation. So if it's between a husband and wife and there's a baby coming out of that situation, then I guess it's good, but maybe not.
Right.
No, the church doesn't really, is not that loud about it.
Huh. All right.
It touches on uncomfortable questions.
It touches on having to understand science.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
The article goes on. You may not think it matters whether fertilized embryos are considered people.
I do.
But if the law here in America decides they are, or even decides they aren't, it has major implications.
Oh, yeah.
Constitutional law attorney Jenna Ells warned that a ruling about embryos are... warned about a ruling that embryos are mere property. Sorry about that, guys.
Yeah, very good.
Huh.
Yeah, because there's actually an episode of Law and Order where this gets covered, because there's after a person dies, who inherits embryos that he has because they're have his descendants, and there's like wife and ex-wife, whatever.
That's the very idea of genetic material being passed on by will is the first time I'm hearing about it. So,
yeah, I mean it's not really like a concept that's been around for very long, because that's not been possible.
Right.
So, once again, law has to catch up with science, and religion is standing where it is and throwing a fit. So.
Yeah,
that's a good way to put it.
Yeah. So this is definitely, this is a pretty new concept that is starting to become part of. I think it's going to become a big part of the abortion debate in the near future.
Right.
So we've got another subheading: could be a slippery slope.
Oh, is this what the lawyer's warning about?
Yeah, Ellis said the ruling fertilized embryos are property could potentially expand to other stages. At what point does that arbitrary line go from fertilized embryos at merely the conception stage, then all the way to, say, someone who's in a coma at the end of their life? She asked. Are they then morphed into property because they don't have a decision-making autonomy? So they're right. That definitely was a slippery slope.
Yeah.
I mean, are you adding the word fallacy to the end of that? Like
they have it right there in the subheading.
Okay. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
So let's take the trolley problem of this, where you go, okay, you're in the burning building and you can rescue a newborn or 5 frozen embryos. Which one do you rescue?
I'm going to go with the actual person.
Yeah.
Newborn. Well, so in my mind, the distinction there is that a person in a coma, like the reason that people would consider that differently would be that person has been born, I suppose. But there is sort of if that's the distinction in terms of personhood, like where does, I don't know.
Yeah, you could take that in some very interesting philosophical directions, I think.
Yeah.
Yep. At what point do we draw the line? Well, the point where you are willing to rescue the 5 embryos or whatever their stage is rather than the newborn baby.
Well,
and it's like,
and are fertilized embryos the property of the mother or the father? If they get a divorce or I don't know, something.
Yeah. That is a good question. And then also, is that decision considered like custody of a child or like possession of property? There are a lot of questions here, and I think we're going around
freaking nightmare
asking them.
I
guess the problem is there is so there's a lot of underlying information that we don't have because we're not doctors, we're not lawyers.
Well, speak for yourself.
Okay.
I can put Esquire after my name.
Ah.
Because anyone can, because it's not legally protected.
In terms of like property, apparently Congress signed a law into provision, I believe in 2012. I did some Googling that bans the patenting of human embryos.
Okay, yeah.
Okay.
So that's interesting because there's the whole, Henrietta Lacks thing, which is, it was a woman who had cancer in the 20s. And so some of her cancer cells were stored. And the thing with cancer cells is they just continue to divide. So in terms of, I want to test this drug to see if it cures cancer, what effect it has on cancer cells, it's easy to take that culture, create copies of it and ship it. And I guess clones is the wrong word, but descendants is also the wrong word of those original cancer cells.
Yeah, we talked about
still used today.
Yeah, we talked about this with the vaccines.
Yeah. And so the question is, well, I'm also filling it in because I'm not sure how much you follow.
I'm not really that familiar with it. At all.
I was guessing that you didn't follow American law very closely.
I said neuron preservation.
I interjected and I shouldn't have.
No, you're good. But it's they've continued to use copies of those cells, and it's like she has living relatives. One, and then also, can you patent biological information from a person? And I think Congress passed a law saying, no, you can't. So, in 2012, which is interesting because if you can't patent it, I don't know the law well enough, has some implications for can you consider it property or something?
And if it's not property, what is it? I mean,
that is a very good
question. In the
question.
case of the fertilized
embryos.
Therein lies the problem that we've got.
Yeah, I think we've all...
It is, I mean, biologically, it's kind of half the mothers and half the fathers.
Well, I mean, yes, but the half and half is if you're considering it like property and property rights, right? Like you have a whole set of laws, et cetera. I think everywhere does in terms of custody of a child in the event.
Well, I mean, biologically it is. Yeah. You can say that since it is biologically half this person and half this other person, it makes intuitive sense to go ahead and transfer that to property. But
there's that. But what if there was a sperm donor, and so then it's biologically not half of one, or an egg donor? Like, is it that you own your own genetic information? So if you're impotent, ain't got no rights, like.
Well, I think the law basically does say that you own your own genetic code, essentially.
Yeah, I mean, I guess that's better than not.
At least at the moment.
Yeah.
So
well. Yeah, I don't know where to go from there.
I was so intrigued by this.
Yes. I'm going to see if I can call Andrew Torres next.
Yeah. Anyway, so it goes on. The pro-choice argument has always been my body, my choice. Well, these embryos are outside of a woman's body.
Yeah.
And when the Supreme Court is looking at this case, they're not going to be looking necessarily at women's bodily autonomy, but they're going to be looking at whether or not these independent, outside a woman's body, fertilized embryos are human beings and whether or not they're persons. But deciding they are persons could definitely have an impact on abortion. That's for damn sure.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sorry if the subject is rendering me monosyllabical, but if...
No, it's good. I mean, obviously, your humor is appreciated, but it's doing the same to us as well.
Yeah. No, go ahead.
And you're a man, you have no excuses.
Yeah, I know. I'm supposed to talk and be domineering and everything. Yeah. Your English is very good, by the way. That's something I can say.
It is.
Yeah.
So there's, I guess, there's one thing that I wanted to add to this because I found this story today, and I had the whole day off. I didn't have to work today. I spent probably a good 4 or 5 hours.
Oh yeah.
Checking out different websites. There was fertilization,
Researching.
I went ahead and I actually dug up my old.
Oh, you were telling me this.
I went and dug up my old anatomy and physiology textbook.
Cool.
Yeah. Well, actually, if they're from Texas,
I went and dug up my old medical terminology textbook. I pissed away hours trying to find a good, solid medical nuanced point. Like, so when they fertilize the embryos, what stage of development are they at? Oh, that's interesting. So they're at that stage. That means this, and this has happened, and all this other stuff is going to happen after implantation later on. And about, I don't know, maybe 4:45 rolled around today, and I realized, holy shit. I fell for it. This is really a big distraction. Because at the end of the day, the way that this relates to abortion, it doesn't really change much of anything.
No.
It is still going to be, they are making the argument that this organism, whether they call it legally a person or not, is going to be given special rights that supersede the rights of the mother. At the end of the day, that's what it really boils down to.
Right.
And all of that shit, that's going to be a big distraction, and it's going to fool people. It fooled me for half of the day.
Yeah.
I really tried to get into the nuanced medical perspective, because I do have a little bit of a medical background. I'm a
Humble brag.
Yeah. Well, not anymore.
Except the humble.
Not anymore. I did, go through EMT training, but I've forgotten
In a movie.
I've forgotten almost all of that shit. I really tried,
Yeah.
and then I realized that none of it actually matters.
Yeah.
It is still about a woman's right to choose whether or not that organism is legally called a person or not.
Doesn't impact abortion. I don't
know.
I don't even know if I agree with that. I mean, I absolutely think it's a woman's right to choose if it's her own body. But if it's outside of the body,
well, I mean,
it's
this is a very interesting.
What if they're donated to another couple?
Yeah, I mean, in relation to how this relates to abortion specifically.
Yeah,
it's still a very interesting,
but it wouldn't negate
subject in and of itself that I don't know if I have a conclusion to.
Yeah,
but in relation to abortion, which is the way that it's going to be used, I don't think it matters.
I can agree with whether that in terms of whether or not it affects a person's right to make decisions for their own body. But it's very interesting as far as a distraction. That and what you said as far as, but what if it's donated to another person? If you own your own genetic code and then you donate it to another person, I guess if you consider it property, you've given it to them, and if you consider it a person, you've allowed them to adopt it.
Yeah, you have a legally binding agreement, I guess.
Yeah, I mean,
I don't know.
Maybe? I don't know. That's a good question. I don't have an answer.
Me neither.
Yeah.
I have a lot of questions, though. So
this is a brand new.
Be very distracting from my Game of Thrones theories.
Our technology
I was gonna say
creates all sorts of interesting questions.
Yeah. If technology would just slow down a little bit,
we need more mad science.
Yeah, we do. we need more advanced everything.
Yeah. No, as I said, 4:30, 4:45 rolled around, and I was like, oh shit, and I got angry at myself.
Yeah. Yeah. Why are you trying to learn, punk?
Yep.
Yeah.
I felt like I wasted all that time, but I mean, I guess.
Well, but you're not learning just for one thing. You're expanding your general knowledge.
Right.
And that's good.
Or bad.
You
if
learned
it's the tree of knowledge that you're not supposed to eat from.
Ah.
Just saying. Knowledge can be bad.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
And
Nope. Yeah.
Yeah, you're gonna doom animals to eat each other forever. So
suppose so. Yeah.
Yep.
It's all part of his plan.
Even more so than they already do, apparently. So, yeah.
Not every secularist is a mass murderer. Fox rabbi blames atheists, but not all, for church shootings.
Oh, wow.
I mean,
I think the most shocking thing is that Fox News has a non-Christian on their staff.
yeah, it's weird that Fox had a rabbi on there.
Why,
Do they
why
know that
would
rabbi means Jewish person?
Maybe they're trying to be more intersectional and have like a token.
Yeah. To show that they really support the state of Israel. No.
Well,
This is
Nice, you
Fox.
took it even further.
Christ. So, a synagogue was shot up the other day. So, Fox had a rabbi appeared on Fox on Sunday.
Sounds like the start of a joke.
Suggested that secularism is to blame for alleged hate crimes targeting minority houses of worship in the U.S. and around the world. Quote, is anti-Semitism in America making a resurgence? Fox News asked.
Yes.
Fox News hoped.
You think?
Sorry, I'll keep.
The rabbi responded, quote, there are more anti-Semitic acts, that's undeniable. I maintain that America is not a racist nor an anti-Semitic society. The percentage of bad actors is infinitesimally small, but we know all too well that it only takes one bad actor, to wreak havoc on a community.
That's actually a nicely measured response.
Yeah, particularly if they have access to very powerful rifles and large clips.
So,
Bad actors.
a good point so far.
Yeah.
So
Nicolas Cage is deadly.
The host said, pointed to a rise in hate crimes at, quote, religious centers over the last couple of months or so. What's happening in the world? The rabbi responded, I believe that at least a piece of this is the decline in adherence to religious values and an adoption of secular values.
Murdering people that worship a different religion than you is a religious value.
Yes.
I'm sorry. It's perhaps the oldest one.
The rabbi was quick to point out that, quote, not every secularist is a potential mass murderer.
Oh, thank you.
Hashtag not all, thanks.
Yes.
But I think that there is a sickness in the soul of our society, and I believe that a symptom of that is our decline in religiosity as a society.
What about those statistics saying that show that the more secular a society is, the less crime it has, like we see in Northern Europe?
He doesn't like those statistics.
No.
Oh, the American bubble.
Yeah.
He's-
Statistics are of the devil. So
He's all of, we need more of what doesn't work.
Yeah.
yeah.
So, I mean, it is true that there is seemingly, at least seemingly, a rise in hate crimes, and that
Does that correlate with the rise in directly in the number of non-religious people? I don't.
No.
I'm unaware of any correlation that's been drawn, or does that correlate with a rise in the rhetoric and backlash of the white power movements and I don't know, things that happen in the public sphere that make them feel empowered or like this is their time, or the overton is open in terms of limiting immigration based on the color of a person's skin?
Yeah, well, I mean, I have seen reporting in the past couple of years that has pointed out that FBI studies have shown a steady increase for the past 3 years in a row now of hate crimes. That lines up with the Trump administration, beginning. However, the FBI, I checked out, their studies and their website, that I have not heard anyone else mention that with that rise in reported hate crimes over the past 3 years, that at the same time there has been an increased level of participation from other law enforcement agencies.
I'm sure this is still a thanks Obama situation.
Oh, yeah.
So, I mean, we can definitely say that there's been a rise in hate crimes being reported, but at the same time, we should be hesitant to say that, okay, Trump got elected, hate crimes went up. That correlates to Trump.
Yeah.
Well, no,
That's
there was
skepticism.
increased participation from other.
In terms of
May not be
statistics gathering,
causation, but it certainly is correlation.
Yeah, I mean, it feels like a good intuitive leap, but
Yeah.
it's like anti-vaxxers saying that autism has increased, and yet they
autism
ignore
diagnosis.
they ignore the fact that it has been redefined as autism spectrum disorder, and it by definition includes more people.
Yeah, that's some good skeptical footwork, right? Like, if you increase the data gathering points, you get more data.
Yeah, I mean, it's an easy, intuitive leap to say that Trump has normalized hate speech and has made hateful, racist individuals feel more comfortable.
I mean,
I'm like, but I'm not going to go ahead and make the kind of leaps that anti-vaxxers do.
that is probably a good policy in terms of choosing how to live your life.
Right. We must all make sure the world we live in does not descend into the chaotic, warring 7 kingdoms of Westeros.
What the
Said the President Xi Jinping.
Xi Jinping?
Xi Jinping.
Xi
Xi Jinping.
I think.
Yes, he did it. And he's saying, let's see here. The Chinese official who declined to provide his name told the South China Morning Post that Xi and other foreign leaders watch a diamond version of the racy HBO show.
This is a diamond version?
Well, yeah, what is a diamond version?
An unedited version. Something. The HBO site is blocked in China, but locals can still catch the edited action via HBO's Chinese partner, Tencent. Censorship of the popular series has admittedly frustrated Chinese fans in recent years. Complaints flooded social media during the season 8 premiere when Chinese viewers learned they were missing
Spoiler alert for the season 8
a
premiere.
whole 6 minutes of the 54-minute episode.
So they cut out all the sex and 6 minutes is
It
what
could
was
be
left.
that. I don't know.
What do
but
they censor in there?
I don't know.
I didn't think that China was prudish. At no point do they go, oh yeah, and by the way, communism is bad, as far as I remember, in any potential spoiler in any Game of Thrones episode. You're the expert. Are they anti-communist in Game of Thrones explicitly? Not to put you on the hot seat.
Who?
I don't know. Well, why would you edit the thing?
Yeah, why would you?
I don't know. Is there? Wait. Oh, maybe there's like a rebellion or like
I don't know.
governments. I mean, they're all kings, but you can't edit out the fact that they're kings.
I think R.R. Martin is pretty anti-tyranny, and pro-rebellion when the context calls for it, and maybe a slippery slope of sorts.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Huh.
So anyway, I thought that was cute.
Yeah. I was sort of like,
We got a little
They
bit of
do
Game of
like
Thrones for
yeah.
you.
See,
Just
you just
a
wanted to
smidge.
talk about Game of Thrones, and we would boom, there it
There
is.
we go.
Yeah. In the context of China, which is
Weird.
Yes.
Well, that was our show, and we hope you enjoyed it. We'll be back tomorrow, the 1st of May, with a back-to-back episode. Until then, avoid all dogma.
that's a good voice.